Resiliency Center for Families and Children will soon be introduced to Western Michigan University's campus.
Our Lauren KUMMER tells us how the new center is hoping to address the needs of those experiencing things like trauma, stress, and even substance abuse. Lauren?
Ryan and Janice, $1.5 million of state funding is being given to the Unified Clinics as well as Western Michigan University's College of Health and Human Services to create this center, which will then help families and children through integrated services. The funding, which passed last week, had bipartisan support. Inside the Unified Clinics on Western Michigan University's campus, the Children's Trauma Assessment Center has been serving area families for over 20 years.
Annually, we see about 300 families and children related to trauma through the child welfare system, and we turn away numerous cases on a weekly basis.
With $1.5 million in state funding, WMU's College of Health and Human Services and the Unified Clinics are creating a resiliency center to serve not only children, but families as well. Dr. Ron Sisler says this funding will allow them to double the number of people they see.
The Resilience Center is a way to think very big about what children and families need who've experienced trauma, who've experienced toxic stress, who've experienced adversity in their lives, to say, how do we create a place that can meet the needs on multiple levels?
The center will assess the family dynamic as a whole to better provide services that will address the needs of every person and not just one child.
We know that if a child experiences trauma in his or her lifetime, it adds at minimum $200,000 plus in expenses over the child's lifetime with medical and mental health, behavioral health costs.
Dr. Henry says it's about recognizing that trauma alters development and resiliency restores that development. So it's important to work with the family dynamic.
Kids heal through their parents. Right? And so for us to be able to have this opportunity to create and support parents through these resources to our community is so essential.
An additional $1.5 million has already been allocated but will need to be reapproved by the new legislature after November's election. That would bring the total from the state to $3 million, which they're hoping to use for the core of what they develop to then sustain the center long term. Reporting live in Kalamazoo, Lauren KUMMER, Fox 17 News.